Today, we're diving into the foundations of property law, focusing on how ownership is verified, protected, and modernized. We'll cover key topics like title searches and the chain of title, which ensure that ownership records are accurate and complete. We'll explore abstracts and how defects in titles can complicate property ownership. Then, we'll look at title insurance, which offers protection against potential losses from these defects. Finally, we'll discuss reform movements in the Torrent system, which aim to simplify and improve the way property ownership is registered and maintained. This overview will set the stage for a deeper understanding of real property law and its ongoing evolution. A clear title is absolutely crucial because it's what makes ownership transferable, financeable, and legally secure. Think of it as the official proof that you truly own the property. Without this evidence of ownership, any transaction, whether it's a sale, mortgage, or inheritance, comes with significant hidden risks. These risks can lead to disputes, financial losses, or even legal challenges. That's why property law foundations emphasize the importance of maintaining reliable records to protect all parties involved and ensure smooth, secure property transactions. Now, let's dive into foundation property law by understanding what a title search is. Essentially, a title search is a thorough review of public records to confirm exactly who owns a property and uncover any legal claims or burdens on that property. The main goal here is straightforward. Before any property transfer or financing happens, we need to ensure that the title is marketable, meaning there are no hidden issues that could affect ownership. The process involves three key steps. First, we check public records to gather all available information. Then, we review the chain of ownership, tracing back through previous owners to ensure there aren't any breaks or irregularities. Finally, we identify any liens or claims that might exist, such as unpaid taxes or mortgages, which affect the property's value or the new owner's rights. This careful examination helps protect everyone involved in the transaction. Here, we're looking at the chain of title, which is essentially the documented history of ownership for a property. It's critical to have a valid title that can be traced through every recorded transfer from one owner to the next, ensuring clear ownership throughout time. Starting back in 1948, the original grant shows the very first conveyance of the property from the state to Emma Hale. This establishes the initial legal owner. Then, in 1972, the property changed hands within the family, with a deed recorded transferring ownership from Emma Hale to Daniel Hale. This is an example of family transfer, which is common in property history. In 1998, there was an arm's-length sale, meaning a transaction conducted between unrelated parties at fair market value, where Daniel Hale sold the title to Riverview Holdings. This kind of sale is significant because it confirms a market-driven transfer. Finally, in 2021, the current owner, Maya Chun, received the title through a warranty deed. This type of deed provides a guarantee that the title is clear and free of encumbrances. Understanding this chain of title is vital for confirming ownership history and ensuring there are no legal disputes over property rights. Here we have an overview of common title defects, which are foundational issues in property law. First, liens are claims recorded by creditors or judgments against the property, which can complicate ownership. Unpaid taxes are another major concern. Tax delinquencies often create priority claims that must be resolved before property can be transferred. Boundary disputes also arise frequently when surveys or property descriptions conflict, leading to uncertainty about the exact property lines. Lastly, missing heirs can present a big challenge, as unknown successors might come forward later and contest ownership. All these factors can cloud the title and delay the transfer of property, so understanding and addressing them is crucial in real estate transactions. Here, we're looking at the definition and importance of an abstract of title. Essentially, it's a chronological summary compiling all recorded documents that affect ownership and any encumbrances on a property. Think of it as a historical record that shows the sequence of deeds, mortgages, liens, and transfers over time. This detailed history helps establish a clear picture of the property's past transactions. From a legal standpoint, it serves as crucial evidence, providing documented support to assess the condition of a title before any property transaction takes place. Understanding the abstract is foundational in property law because it helps ensure that ownership is properly verified and free of unexpected claims. Let's take a closer look at the difference between a title search and a compiled history, or abstract. Starting with the title search, this process focuses on checking ownership, liens, judgments, and any recorded encumbrances tied to property. Essentially, it examines public records specifically related to a single transaction. The method involves identifying any defects or issues that must be resolved before the closing can proceed. The outcome of the search supports underwriting and allows for the issuance of title insurance, which protects a buyer and lender. On the other hand, a compiled history or abstract summarizes a recorded history affecting the parcel of land. It compiles important documents like deeds, mortgages, easements, and court filings to create a chronological digest. Unlike a title search, though, this does not make a coverage decision. Instead, the abstract is often reviewed by an attorney or examiner who can provide a legal opinion on the property status. In summary, while both the title search and the abstract review ownership history, they serve distinct purposes. The title search is transaction specific and directly tied to closing, whereas the abstract offers a broader historical overview without guaranteeing coverage. Understanding these differences helps clarify their roles in property law and title insurance processes. Title insurance plays a crucial role in protecting both buyers and lenders from any hidden issues related to a property's title that might arise after closing. Its main purpose is to shield you from defects that you couldn't identify before the purchase. This includes unknown liens, recording errors, instances of fraud, and even conflicting ownership claims, all potential problems that could complicate your ownership. Moreover, title insurance goes beyond just protection against these defects. It also covers legal fees. So, if your ownership is ever challenged in court, the insurance pays for your defense costs, giving you financial security in difficult situations. Ultimately, the most important benefit of title insurance is the peace of mind it provides. Knowing that your property can be confidently owned, used, and transferred without unexpected legal hassles is invaluable. It ensures that your investment is secure and you can move forward with confidence. Here, we're looking at the difference between owners and lenders' title insurance. Both are important, but they protect different parties and interests. The owner's policy is designed to protect the buyer's equity in the property. It usually involves a one-time premium paid at closing and continues to provide coverage as long as the owner holds the title. On the other hand, the lender's policy protects the mortgage lender, focusing on safeguarding the loan amount. This policy is typically required in finance sales and lasts only until the loan is fully paid off. The core distinction is that the owner's policy protects your ownership rights, while the lender's policy protects the lender's investment or debt. Understanding this difference is crucial when navigating real estate transactions. Now, let's talk about what title insurance actually covers. The key point here is that title insurance protects you against hidden defects in the property title that might not be obvious at the time of closing, but can cause serious problems later on. For example, it covers defective titles, which means if there's an error or issue with the ownership documents, title insurance steps in to protect you. It also covers undisclosed liens, which are debts or claims on the property that the seller didn't reveal. Boundary issues are another important area. If there's a dispute over property lines, title insurance helps resolve that. Finally, it protects against missing heirs, which means if someone shows up after the sale claiming they have a right to property, title insurance provides coverage. Essentially, this insurance is designed to give you peace of mind by addressing these kinds of risks that could otherwise undermine your ownership. Now, let's talk about some of the main challenges with traditional title systems. One major issue is that ownership records are often fragmented. This means they're scattered across many documents like deeds, liens, judgments, and local archives, making it difficult to get a complete picture of ownership history. Another critical problem is the vulnerability to fraud. Errors can creep in, and forged filings or misencumbrances can cloud the title long after property changes hands. This creates real risk for buyers and lenders. Additionally, the process of verifying ownership is very time-consuming. It often requires manually tracing years of recorded transactions, which is both inefficient and prone to mistakes. Fundamentally, traditional title systems rely heavily on historical paper trails rather than maintaining a single, authoritative record of ownership. This reliance on fragmented and outdated records is the root cause behind many of these challenges. Let's take a closer look at the timeline of property law reforms and how they've evolved over the years to improve land records. Starting in the 1900s, the Recording Acts were established, which standardized priority rules. This was a big step because it clarified notice requirements and protected later purchasers, making land transactions more secure. Moving to the 1930s through the 1950s, there was significant expansion of title plants. These private indexes played a key role in shortening search times and boosting efficiency on a local level, helping streamline land record management. Between the 1950s and 1970s, we saw the growth of title insurance. This shifted the risk from buyers to underwriters and introduced defect coverage, offering greater protection and peace of mind during property transactions. Then, from the 1990s into the 2000s, digitization took hold. Electronic recording modernized the entire process, making filing, access, and retrieval of records much faster and more accessible. Finally, from the 2010s to today, the focus has been on data integration. By linking various systems, efforts aim to create cleaner and more transparent public records, which is crucial for trust and efficiency in property law. Overall, these reform movements demonstrate a consistent push to make land records clearer, faster, and more reliable for everyone involved. Let's talk about digital records and why systems are evolving. First, faster access is a major driver. Instead of physically searching through courthouse archives, we now have immediate retrieval of information across index databases, which saves a huge amount of time. Next, reduced fraud plays a crucial role. With audit trails, standardized entries, and better verification processes, it's much easier to spot forged filings and maintain the integrity of the records. Another important factor is centralized records. By integrating registries, we eliminate fragmentation and provide a single, clear source of title information for all parties involved. Overall, the innovation in property records, driven by digitization and modernization, means modern title systems replace delays and fragmentation with speed, traceability, and cleaner control over records. This transformation leads to more efficient and trustworthy property management. Now, let's discuss the foundations of property law, focusing specifically on the Torrens system. This system changes the traditional way ownership is proved. Instead of having to trace a chain of past documents to prove who owns a property, the Torrens system relies on a central register. This register itself is considered authoritative, meaning that once your ownership is recorded there, it's clear, final, and much easier to rely on. Simply put, the Torrens system is a government-backed title registration process that provides conclusive evidence of ownership, giving property owners greater security and simplifying transactions. This approach streamlines property law by making titles more definitive and trustworthy. Now, let's dive into how the Torrens registration system works. First, the process begins with the initial application. Here, the landowner applies to register their parcel of land and submits all the necessary documents to claim ownership. This is a starting point where the owner officially declares their interest. Next comes a government examination. A court or a registrar steps in to verify the claim. They carefully review the submitted documents, address any objections or disputes, and ultimately determine whether the title is valid. This step is crucial because it ensures that ownership claims are thoroughly examined and cleared before moving forward. Finally, once everything is approved, the state issues a certificate of title. This certificate serves as the authoritative, conclusive record of ownership. It officially confirms who owns the land. The key concept here is that registration under the Torrens system shifts proof of ownership from relying on a private chain of documents, which can be complex and uncertain, to an officially examined and certified public record. This greatly simplifies and secures the process of proving land ownership. Here on this slide, we focus on the Torrens system and its key advantages. The core idea is that the Torrens system creates a single authoritative register, which significantly reduces uncertainty and friction in property transactions. This means that instead of relying on private investigations to prove ownership, the official state record acts as a definitive source of truth. One of the main benefits is clear ownership. Because the registered title is official and easy to verify, it helps prevent disputes over who actually owns the property. This certainty in the register curtails competing claims, making ownership much more secure. Additionally, Transactions become faster since transfers don't require rechecking long, complicated title histories. And perhaps most importantly, the state's role in registration provides a stronger defense against fraud, creating a solid barrier to forgery. All these factors together make the Torrent system an effective way to streamline and secure property ownership and transfers. The Torrent system, as you can see, was adopted selectively in the United States rather than nationwide. It's primarily concentrated in a handful of states, mostly in the Midwest and Western regions. Unlike the traditional recording system that most states use, the Torrent system offers a different approach to land title registration. States like Washington, Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin are among those that have implemented the system. The rest of the country largely relies on the traditional method. This selective adoption means that while the Torrent system is recognized and used effectively in some regions, it hasn't been broadly embraced across the entire country. Understanding where and why these patterns exist helps us grasp the practical implications and regional preferences in land title management. When we talk about title system reform, it's important to understand the significant challenges that come with it. Even though reform promises clearer and more reliable ownership records, actually putting these changes into practice is much slower than you might expect. First, there's the cost of transition. Updating legacy records, retraining staff, and redesigning workflows all require substantial upfront investment. This financial barrier can be a major hurdle. Second, legal tradition plays a big role. Many courts, practitioners, and local offices have long-standing trust in existing title practices and tend to be cautious about adopting new systems. This resistance to change can delay progress. Third, coordination is a big issue because property records are managed by different counties, states, and agencies. Aligning these various jurisdictions under a uniform reform is complex and difficult to govern. Finally, public awareness is often low. Most property buyers don't interact directly with the title system, so there's little pressure for reform unless problems become very visible. All these factors together highlight why reforming title systems is a tough but necessary task. Here, we're focusing on the evolution and future of title and property records. The concept of connected record systems is transforming how we manage property information. By integrating blockchain technology, we can ensure greater security and transparency, making records tamper-proof and easily verifiable. AI-driven searches are another exciting development, streamlining the process of retrieving records quickly and accurately. Additionally, the push for nationwide standardization aims to create a consistent and efficient system across all regions, reducing discrepancies and improving accessibility. Together, these innovations are shaping a more reliable and modern approach to managing property records for the future. To wrap up, there are 5 key anchors that help us understand the process of verifying, protecting, and modernizing property ownership. First, title searches provide crucial information to ensure clear ownership. Then, title insurance plays a vital role in protecting that ownership against potential disputes. Traditional systems, while foundational, are now undergoing important reforms to improve their efficiency and reliability. The Torrent system offers a modern alternative that simplifies and secures property registration. Finally, technology is set to shape the future, driving further innovation and making these processes faster and more transparent. These points together form the backbone of how property ownership is managed today and will evolve going forward.